And that's how we're starting the first 10SN video for the YouTubes. I'm going to try and remind me to do this stuff for some of the more detailed lecture ones. This is just going to be a short one on rats. I'm just going to go over this booklet in full and how I want you to approach it. The first thing is asking you to state the restrictions. And all it's saying is, what is the value for x that cannot exist because if I made it so, it would make the denominator 0. So if we look at that first one right there, what number should x never be in order for it to never turn it into 0? Because if we divide by 0, it breaks everything. Let's go that way. 12 times what would give you 0? That's what I'm asking. That's it. So x cannot equal 0 because if x was 0, it would make the denominator 0. That breaks the question or breaks the rat. Same thing with this guy here. It's 100 times v. V cannot equal 0. Okay? Now, where this gets more challenging is all of a sudden I get a binomial. Let's look at this guy down here. What is it that n cannot be? What will turn that denominator 0? N would not be able to be -1. Because if it was -1, right, -1 plus 1 would be 0. That breaks it. Okay? Now, here's where it gets different with the restrictions. It is not as simplified as I would like. So what I am going to do now is, if it's not factored and it's the denominator, I'm going to go ahead and find my two numbers that add together to get 4 and multiply to get -21. So what are those two numbers?
7 and -3.
Nice. 7 and -3. So I know my answer here would be m plus 7, m minus 3. We're skipping through all the nonsense because we're smart. We're just going to write them in like that. So now, if I independently just looked at, change color here. If I just looked at m plus 7, what can m not be to turn that into 0?
Plus 3.
Sorry,
-7. So m cannot equal -7. All right. Now think about m minus 3. Positive 3. So the two restrictions for this are -7 and positive 3. So I independently got this from that set of brackets and this one from that set of brackets. Because if let's just look at it. If m was -7 here, you get it right? -7 plus 7. 7 minus 3. This becomes 0. 0 times 4 becomes 0. I can't have that. Alternately, if I did it the other way around, 3 plus 7. 3 minus 3. Right? This turns into 0. This turns into 10. Anything times 0 is 0. So that's all the stating of restrictions is. So it's separate. Okay? That's a separate process that I want you to go through and try and do with these guys here. And so when I go state the restrictions, step 1, factor. If you have to. Like the first two questions, we didn't have to, so whatever. Step 2, state restrictions. Really doesn't like recording. Yeah. You can't handle doing this much. You can't handle broadcasting and recording, and it's too much for its little heart. And me, can't handle me. State restrictions. Reason being is I want to do that before I get into cancel / simplify. Because even if, like if you look at this guy here, once I got m plus 7, m minus 3, if we were just at the simplify stage right now, what could cancel here?
M plus 7.
M plus 7. But I still wanted to know the additional thing that m could be. This is still part of the denominator from the original one, so I still want to state it as part of my restrictions. Then I'm going to go ahead and cancel it out. Okay? So it would end up looking like m plus 7 all over m plus 7 m minus 3, and we would cancel that one with that one, and then my final answer would be 1 over m minus 3. Okay? So the final answer is the combination of the restrictions and the simplified form. Restrictions and simplified form. So that's all for that one. I'm going to hit stop share.